Opening things up, it is the number one contender bout between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page. Winner goes on to face Samoa Joe at Revolution. And man, pretty hot crowd from the beginning, chanting for AEW. And we get right into things here. Swerve ends up stopping a buckshot attempt and gets dumped to the floor on his shoulder. And Page misses the Orihara moonsault. Swerve hits this Fosbury flop, and the crowd's going nuts for this. Page bites him on the turnbuckle, sunset bomb, but then Swerve, to avoid the sunset bomb, flips over, and dude, it looks like he comes down on his head, and he is like selling for a bit. Might not have been selling even, but dude, did this look like, oh my God, did he like escape death here?
He didn't even really sell it. He just popped right back up and like did his
enzuigiri. And then he goes down to the ground, and you could see the ref go over, and I think he was like getting his bearings. But I mean, God, went another like 20 minutes after this.
So scary. I mean, but obviously he seems okay. Might have just kind of posted enough to prevent the damage on his head. But man,
scary moment very scary match, to say the least. Page is then placed in the Tree of Woe, and Swerve lands the stomp, and then there's a table set up on the floor. So after Page takes this stomp, he casually rolls onto the table, and this table just gives way. And this crowd is so sad. They were like, God damn it, we came here for a table to break. And so Swerve grabs another table for this big pop, and they just set it up in the corner. And this doesn't come into play for like way later into the show. So I don't know if they had the second table spot in mind for later for this, or they just brought this out and improvised for later.
It could be all those things. Could have been just a tease of the table spot to come later, but whatever they did, I thought they managed to save the moment pretty well.
Regardless, I'm glad he didn't just take out the table and then we did the spot to just be like, okay, we screwed up and we're gonna. Instead, he set up the table and then we forgot about it for like 10 minutes, and then it was this big moment with the table later.
With as much like evolution as there's been, I don't know, over the past 30 years with technology, you figure there'd be some sort of a advancement in pro wrestling table technology to prevent stuff like this from happening.
Table legs are just that way. They're unpredictable. All of a sudden, Justin Roberts notes 5 minutes remaining. And in my head, I just assumed it's 20-minute time limits. It's 30 here. So this match, I couldn't believe we were at 25 minutes already.
Continental Classic would be 20, but outside of that,
that's probably what was in my head.
Yeah.
So the buckshot connects onto Swerve, but Swerve gets his leg on the rope. And Prince Nana is ringside here, but of course, Swerve had explained to him last week he doesn't want Nana to get involved. Then there's a dead eye on the edge of the apron. So Swerve is down, and Nana is trying to get his attention. So he starts doing his dance to wake up Swerve. Swerve gets in at the count of 10, and Page gets a chair. But instead of disqualifying himself, he nails Prince Nana, and he's full heel by this point too. He had already been kind of playing it, but now we're making it clear distinction between the two. Swerve boots the chair into the face, hits the Swerve stomp, but as he comes down, he buckles his ankle, and he's selling the ankle, tries for the JML driver after getting to his feet, but it's countered, and Hangman goes to the ankle lock, sensing the injury. But Page is knocked into the post. Swerve hits his own deadeye on the apron through that table on the floor. Great spot here. And then tries for the Swerve stomp, but misses and comes down on his shattered ankle and ducks a buckshot, lands the JML driver, but the ankle is hurt. So it just delays him going for the pin because of this ankle. Gets on top, 1, 2, and the bell rings, signaling the 30-minute time limit. Now, I was not timing this match, so I can't tell you if they nailed it or not. It's not like we had the countdown from Justin Roberts, but this match was awesome. I thought this was tremendous.
So awesome. And if it's not actually 30 minutes, I almost don't want to know. Like, I'd rather just kind of keep this match.
I want to know if they hit it. If this was like 30 minutes and 10 seconds, it does like you got to note that.
Well, you should have had the stopwatch. Where was the stopwatch tonight, John?
I was behind. I had to. It was a whole thing.
I thought this match, maybe time limit aside, because we don't have verification for that yet. Everything else about this, I felt was perfection. You know, the death match that these two had, I think will be, justly remembered for the violence involved. But I think what made it transcend just being a death match was the fact that these two are just fantastic wrestlers with or without all the gimmicks. And you largely had a pretty straightforward match, table spot aside, without interference outside of, Prince Nana dancing. But it just showed you, like, purely here, they are great professional wrestlers and amazing in-ring storytellers. And they gave us 30 minutes of excellence here. And this time with Hangman Page pretty much fully embracing his heel role tonight. Now, I don't think it's a heel. Like, do you think it's the type of heel that will stay throughout the other cities? Or do you think this is a one night type of adjustment for this crowd?
No, I think they're going to just tailor it to the audience and play it. This was one where, I mean, it started off, it was, I wouldn't say quite 50-50. Maybe it was like 60-40, 70-30 for Swerve, and they just played with that. And by the end,
Swerve had like the injured shoulder. It was teasing like an injured lower back at times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think like we've come to expect, I think they just kind of roll with the punches, and if you get a negative reaction one night, it's not cause for, like, I think we're going to have these characters that shift back and forth, especially these two.
I guess is this the time we should be reminding everybody that this man invaded the Page's child's room?
Also did give him a gift, so that's the silver lining too.
T-shirt.
Gave him a shirt.
True. Yeah.
Didn't abduct the baby.
Yeah, huge baby face. Yeah. At this point, it doesn't matter. It's almost like the audiences realize, okay, that was a gimmick, but who do we actually want to see ascend the ladder? Who has not received the opportunity yet? It's Swerve. So he's a major baby face tonight, and this keeps that rubber match out there. These two are one apiece, 1-1-1 now. So that last match between the two to finally settle it, you can still save it for a pay-per-view, and of course, it sets up for the triple threat.
Yep, it sets up your match for the pay-per-view. It still gives Hangman like this guy that he has never been able to beat, and the crowd booed when the time limit was hit.
Sorry, are they 1-1-1, or has Swerve has won both of them? I apologize.
Swerve won both. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Swerve then states he wants 5 more minutes, and Page is laughing, saying, "You had to beat me to become the number 1 contender. You didn't do it, and for you, it's over." And so that's all he cares about. He just wants to block Swerve from getting to that title match. So
what did Page think it meant for him, I guess?
Well, he explained he just doesn't want Swerve to get this title. He's going for the title, but it's more important that he can block this guy from getting what he wants as well. And he got to play spoiler here. So he was content to play spoiler. If he won, so be it. But he'll take this time limit draw. But Tony Schiavone, through Tony Khan, notes that both are number 1 contenders, and thus we are getting a 3-way at Revolution. And Page freaks out when he hears this, while Swerve smiles. So
yeah, Page was doing the sort of cowardly thing where, he was having a fit and not wanting to wrestle for 5 more minutes, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that this is you have 3 strong performers for this show that you can make arguments for any one of them to win this match. Personally, I think Joe has so much gas left in the tank as this champion, but you can go many different ways. You can go with Hangman, but he doesn't beat Swerve in this match. Feels early for Swerve, but I mean, he's the hottest of the 3 as well. And maybe they look at the timing there. So I think it's a really compelling match, and I think the quality is going to be outstanding.
I'm usually not a fan of multi-man world title headlining matches because I tend to think it takes away from maybe the sort of intimacy of a singles feud. But this is the exception, especially after this incredible time limit draw that these two had. I mean, Page and Swerve, I think, will go down as one of AEW's best feuds. So they reheated it up very well tonight with this 30-minute time limit draw. And I think the story is going to be both of them wanting to reach the championship, and Samoa Joe trying not to lose it because he doesn't need to get pinned. So I'm very much looking forward to it now.
And should be the rare championship match that does not close the show at Revolution as well.
That is true. Yeah, well, at least not world singles championship, you mean? Yeah. Super chat here from John Cena, who says Swerving and Hangman were 30-06. Sorry, John.
The Grinch. Hey, you can't give them the credit if they were.
You gotta get the right time on Cage Match, Cena. So thank you very much, Cena, for that.